Getting old is like climbing a mountain. You get a little out of breath, but the view is much better. That is
Okay.
Hi, Columbia Journalism School. I went and I found that. That quotation is from the one and only Ingrid Bergman.
Oh my God.
I know. I saw that and I was like, she is not lying. Yeah.
What
We're talking
a star.
about age and work. As women get older, they can often find themselves facing the double whammy of both sexism and ageism in the workplace.
And AARP research shows that more than half of women turning 40 have looked for work, and of those, nearly a third cite age discrimination as something keeping them from getting a job. This is terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, our next guest is sharing 5 ways women can feel more confident in the workplace as they age, and we'll shout some out, you know, some awesome ones that we
Why not?
think deserve it.
3 of us around
along
the
the way. Yeah, this is 1, 2, and 3 right here. No, I'm just kidding, please. Although, you know, raise yourself up too, ladies. Raise yourself up.
Joining
you gotta
us
advocate.
this morning, Diana Patton. She is a former civil rights attorney, a workplace inclusion consultant, and founder of Rise Advocates Academy. It's an organization empowering women to build confidence and speak up for themselves.
Come on.
Yay. Thank you, ma'am, for your work.
Hey, I'm so happy to be here, and this is exactly the topic we needed for forever.
Yeah, for forever.
Yes, for forever.
Before we get into it, talk to us a little bit about your journey and why talking about this is so important from your perspective.
Okay, so I went through a deep depression after George Floyd, lost a whole bunch of weight, and then all of a sudden I became happy, and then all of a sudden the weight started coming on. And I was like, well, what's happening? I didn't know that, hello, it's the M, menopause.
You were going through menopause.
Oh, yes.
Had anyone in your life talk to you about menopause before that?
Negative.
Okay, because my mother didn't either. Continue.
No, of course. And my mom, I said, what do you, she was like, I had a hysterectomy.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that.
Right.
So I just was really struggling. And of course, I had an amazing health professional, Dr. Ann Roos, shout out to Ann, because she helped me so much in learning about this, right? But then the beautiful thing is we're starting to see it more and more in the news, and people are talking about it. But a lot of my clients, they're struggling too. They think they're lacking confidence, but really what we need to peel it back and see this is a health issue that we need to talk about. And stop with the shame already.
Oh my gosh,
and so that's
really.
something that this needs to happen more and more and more. However, the great thing is that we're talking about issues in the workplace like mental wellness.
Right.
And understanding it's okay, but we still struggle with it.
Yeah, so true. Now, you have 5 tips.
Yes.
That you're going to share with us.
Yes.
Let's go with the first one.
First.
Let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
Educate yourself on the aging process.
Educate yourself.
Yes. Educate yourself.
Because
period.
a lot of people, again, we need to know, we need to learn. And Oprah Winfrey,
Heck
I mean,
yes.
hello, she's always talking about educate. So many resources out there. But first, start with your health professional.
Start
Really.
with your health professional. Ask them, what is going on with
That's
my
what they're
body?
there for. Sheesh.
And I think too, you know, I'm very open about the fact that I'm 48, going on 28.
Yes.
Because
Looking
in my
18.
mind, in my mind, it's like that quotation I start with, like I feel like I have lived, but I've never felt younger.
For sure.
Meaning that I have more energy. I see things in the workplace for what they are. You know, the 28-year-old me would have been like, I don't like this. Whereas now I'm like, okay, let me meet you halfway. And no one talks about this, so I'm glad that you are talking about this because it is, I'm sorry to say, it is harder for women.
Yeah, educate yourself because there's symptoms that could cause you to believe you messed up, but you're not.
So find a good healthcare professional.
Absolutely.
For the mind and the body.
Yeah, for
and
all
do
the
your
things.
own research.
Yeah, well, that's true too. You gotta, you know, you gotta stay on top of things yourself as well. Now, so once you've educated yourself, what's next?
Accept yourself before you wreck yourself.
Okay.
And so accept yourself. Tracy Ellis Ross. I mean,
oh my God,
she's all like, you see me? Okay, if you don't follow her on Instagram, she's
you're
about
doing
dating.
yourself a
Okay,
service.
Do yourself a favor
accept
right now.
yourself. I mean, accept yourself and love the aging process. Love it.
Yes.
And that's something that my 84-year-old mama taught me. Okay, she loves to age. She said, you old because you just want to be old. Okay. This is what my mom says.
Yeah.
And so I said, oh, okay. And I have 5 older sisters, and we're learning how to love it. Every step of the way has its ups and it has its downs, but as long as you learn about yourself, a lot of people need to know about them, their body. That's why you got to educate yourself, accept yourself, and then we can actually find a way to get into joy, peace, and happiness.
And be thriving individuals.
Absolutely.
Did your mom talk to you about menopause? Or your sister?
I mean, I love my mother, and I'm not spared any details about her menopause journey, which is great.
Any women in your family, like any aunts or
no
that you can think of?
I don't think so. No, my mom is definitely the pioneer of the women. She's one of five as well. She's the pioneer of all of this stuff in our family. I know she wasn't getting this from her mom or her, you know, elder women in her family tree. So, thank you, Mom.
And yet, you know a lot about exercise and nutrition, which is the next tip.
Which is what I'm all about, along with Angela Bassett. We have, okay, first of all, everyone needs to know what nutrition protocol works best for you.
It's not one size fits all.
Again, educate yourself. Write down what you're eating. Write down how you feel. Keep a journal. Keep a food journal. I love intermittent fasting. I believe it helps with regulating hormonal balance. I also know you have to lift weights.
Yes.
Ladies.
We know that.
We've been lifting weights since we were in our teens.
Right. And I am a CrossFit person, I used to run track in college, and so I've never really stopped, but I've learned a lot of the things don't always work in the 20s.
Yes.
I'm 54, and so I have to do things differently.
Right.
So true.
So again, it's really, women, we need to know our bodies and know how it responds. Intermittent fasting, lifting weights, that's my jam.
That's what
but
works
you have to
for you,
figure out your jam.
Yeah.
And I love yoga.
And you got to try
yoga. We're like the same person. I love this.
Are we? Oh my gosh.
I do CrossFit and yoga
Okay,
as well.
let's do some headstands and work.
Okay.
What is the last tip that you have?
The last tip is surround yourself with people who love aging. And can I add one more?
Please.
I think you need to speak up about it at work. And you know who does that best? Tells us Michelle Obama.
I mean,
I have her on speed dial. She is my sister.
She's like, hello.
Hold on, can we give her a call?
Yeah.
So, and then of course, when you really hang around people who love aging, Jane Fonda does this best, you really start to love life in a whole new way. And it's good to have new friends. If people, as my mama says, wants to be old and you don't want to be, you don't have to be old.
That's right.
You get to hang around people who are vibrant, excited, joyful. That's why I have orange on. That's what, and the yellow. I teach my clients, my Rise advocates to do the same. And we're going to be talking all about this at the All Rise Live Global Summit. Happening in June. So yes, it's really, really important because creating community is key.
Yeah. And I think the whole notion of age and aging, just turning it on its head and talk about it.
Absolutely.
Because it's so
it
different.
doesn't have to have a negative connotation.
And I think, listen, and I will fall on the sword of the media. We have done, how many headlines have we seen? 40 under 40 who made it, 30 under 30
Yes.
Hi, I'm about to be 50 and I'm still waiting to, for the biggest accomplishment of my life. So
can I tell you that when I turned 30, this is horrible and sick, but one of the first thoughts I had was like, well, guess I'm not making any 30 under 30 lists. Why am I thinking like that? I swear to, honest to God, hand to the Bible. That's a thought that went through my mind.
Yes.
And look, we're only getting better.
Yes.
Only getting better.
And it's just like good wine.
That's right.
We're just aging with good wine and lots of seasoning. Lots of spice.
I love
cayenne pepper.
All that.
I love it, and I think it's so important for these people to be talking like this and having fun while we're doing it.
Absolutely. Tell us one more time about the summit.
Okay. All Rise Live Global Summit, June 15th through the 17th in Toledo, Ohio. It's a global summit. Global Summit in Toledo, Ohio. Go to allriselive.com.
Can't wait.
Yes, and we'll be doing and dancing.
And yoga.
Dancing is the best part of the aging process.
The best medicine.
Yes.
Just get up and move your body.
Patton, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love y'all.
Tell us
Such
when
a
you
joy to
run
have
through
you.
these mean streets of New York again, because we'd love to.
Yes,
Come
I
right back to
will.
this
I will
town.
be running back.
And I'll wear my bright blazer next time.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.